A kid went missing in Disneyland 60 years ago, and I found him here still, in the same spot. I started working at Disneyland in 1974 at the age of 19 as a custodial. It was a good job to have while I interned for my actual career. One day as I was sweeping Main Street, I felt a tug. It was a little kid. He asked me where his parents were. It was almost dinner. I asked what his name was, and he said Ron. I told him to follow me, and we went inside the nearest gift shop. As I informed the manager about the missing kid, I turned around and he was gone. They never found him. 59 years would pass by, and as I retired from my job, I went back to Disneyland as a custodial. And once again, as I swept the streets of Main Street, I felt a tug. It was an old man who identified himself as Ron. That's why you should never ride Small World alone. I was IT for the ride Small World in Disneyland. Usually I'd start out my test by riding the ride and taking down notes, looking for any flaws. As the ride went along, I began hearing that annoying theme, but I noticed something a little odd. Some of the animatronics weren't moving, so I began to write that down. When I looked up, none of them were moving, they were all staring at me. The song slowed down, the lights went out. Eventually the lights came back on and, oh god, they were all staring at me. The ride looked dead. Eventually I got to the end, and needless to say, I walked out. I dropped my badge, not at my boss's office, but just literally dropped it, and I left forever.
So today, let's talk about the super creepy urban legend surrounding the ride, It's a Small World. Honestly, that ride always gave me the creeps because just look at those creepy little dolls. No thank you. Well, anyways, this legend dates back to 1999 when a girl and her family went to Disney. They were on this ride when all of a sudden it abruptly stopped. The safety lights came on and a bunch of Disney employees came in and said that everyone needed to be escorted out immediately. When they got outside, they found ambulance and police waiting. Nobody knew what had happened. That was until the girl got home and was reviewing footage from her camera that day. Apparently, when they were evacuating, the mom was taking photos and accidentally took a photo of the ceiling. The photo appears to be of a little boy or worker hanging from the ceiling. This is the photo, and that's the person hanging. Honestly, it kind of just looks like one of the dolls from the ride, but people think that someone hung themselves that day, and that's why they had to be escorted out.
Scary stories about Disneyland, except this one there's actual proof. One time a guy went to Disneyland and was waiting to ride the roller coaster on Space Mountain. He was standing in line when a guy with red hair came up to him and started talking to him. He seemed nice, but he was a little bit odd. But the thing is, when the ride was over, this red-haired man literally vanished into thin air. The guest reported this incident and was told that he was alone the entire time. This guest might have just encountered a ghost people know as Mr. One Way. Rumor has it that he's the ghost of a man who passed away while on the ride in the 1970s. He always vanishes right before the ride is over, and he likes to talk to people who are riding the roller coaster alone. People have also reported seeing him in the cast member locker rooms.
About the mysterious case of Deborah Gale Stone, aka Debbie Stone. Debbie Stone was an 18-year-old hostess at Disney. She was a hostess for the ride America Sings, which was a musical performance. This was a new attraction, and basically you'd be sitting in a theater facing the stage, and after every act, the theater would rotate. In 1974, during the last performance of the night, Debbie got caught between the rotating wall and the stationary stage wall. She was instantly crushed to death. The scary part is that the audience heard her screams but thought that it was part of the show. Now, the big mystery is, how did she get caught in the first place? Some say that she fell between the two walls, others say that she was trying to jump from one stage to another and then got caught, and other people think that she was pushed. On that day, Debbie had just gotten engaged and was super excited and was showing all her coworkers her ring. Apparently one of them was really jealous. But to this day, we sadly still don't know what truly happened to Debbie.
So this takes place at those lockers to the left of the Disney California Adventure gate. And I don't even know if ghosts are real, but if they are, this is really freaky. So this is what the inside of the locker looks like. My sister and I were right here just putting our stuff inside one. There was another family here, but from the corner of my eye, I could also see someone in the corner just sort of crouching. So as we're putting our stuff away, out of the corner of my eye, I can kind of see that it's like a girl or a young woman, and she's wearing a yellow dress. But even when this family leaves, this girl is still there, just crouching. And I can even kind of tell she's looking at us. So I don't want to be rude and turn around and stare, but when we leave the locker area, I get the courage and I turn around. And there was no one there. So I turned to my sister and I go, did you see the person that was in there? And she's like, yeah, the one in the corner. And when she looked past me and saw that no one was there, I could literally see the goosebumps raising on our arms. I don't know what to make of this, but it will always freak me out that we saw the same person who wasn't there.